Welcome to So Very Easy. My name is Laura, and I just joined a Block of the Month program because I like to do a Block of the Month program at least once a year. The reason I like to do them is, well, it sort of gives me something to aim for throughout the year. But the other thing it does, it gives me an opportunity to learn, because every block of the month will have different blocks that perhaps I've never tried, and it might have a fabric line that I've never used, or it's out of my comfort zone, so it gives me some growth and some learning opportunity. Now, what is a block of the month? Well, to me it sort of reminds me of like a puzzle. You're getting a piece of the puzzle every month until you finish your puzzle. But in this case, you're getting a block of the month, and then at the end of that period, you are going to be finished your quilt. Now, who puts on the block of the month? Oh, a lot of people put on the block of the month. You can have your local store. You can have your local guilds. You can have online stores, online bloggers. And as a matter of fact, you can even have a bunch of girlfriends that have just gotten together and have done a block of the month. Now, how does a block of the month work? Well, there are a lot of rules and a lot of different things that need to go with a block of the month because there's so many different variations. So what I've done is I've composed a list, and you're more than welcome to print out the list, and I'll put a link in the description for you. So let's cover some of the questions that you are going to need for the block of the month. So one of the first things you need to know is it a quilt? Is it a table runner, a wall hanging, a baby quilt? And it's also nice to know the size of the finished quilt. Do you actually get to see the quilt before you sign up for the quilt? Or is it a mystery? How long is the program? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Or is it 18 months? And what type of application is it going to be? Is it going to be applique, piecing, or paper piecing? When you're finished the quilt, will it need borders? And can I add to this quilt if I decide that I am going to make it bigger? If it comes with the standard size blocks, what size are the blocks? The one that I am doing is from Quilting Confections, and it is called Shades of Gray. And well, I loved the name, so I had to do it. And the quilt block finished is going to be a 10-inch finished block. So I already know that every block that I'm going to do is going to be a 10-inch finished block. And am I going to need fillers? In this particular one, it comes with additional blocks that you are going to put in. So I will need to buy additional fabric for that. When I do pick up the block of the month, is it just the pattern or is it the pattern and the fabric? If it is the fabric, can you choose additional fabric or can you change the fabric? Because, well, sometimes they will give you the option. When I get the pattern and the fabric, is the fabric pre-cut to the exact size pieces that are needed, or am I going to get just the larger piece and cut it down to the sizes that I'm going to need? Are there any special rulers or techniques that I need in order to do the block of the month? Now, the one that I have joined from Quilting Confections is based around the 6.5-inch square up ruler by Eleanor Burns. So if I didn't have it, well, then I would have had to buy the ruler. Was lucky I already had the ruler, so I knew that was covered. So let's talk about the subject of washing the fabric. A lot of quilters do like to wash their fabric before they start, but the block of the months a lot of times are not pre-washed. So if you want to wash the fabric before you start it, you will need to take into consideration if you are going to have any shrinking of that fabric, and you might not have enough, so put that into consideration. Where I am going, the fabric has already been pre-washed before they cut it for me, so I don't have to do that step. It's a bit of a bonus for me. The other important question you need to ask is, how are you going to receive this? If it's a monthly, this is how it normally works. The organization will choose a date of that month for you to pick up that block or that block and pattern. And it will be, for example, the first Thursday of every month. And you go in, you pick up your block, you pay a small fee. If it's just the pattern, there might not be a fee. But if there is fabric that comes with it, there's usually a small fee. And you will get that block and that pattern. You need to go home, you need to sew that up and bring it in the following month on that set day, and then you will get your next block for whatever the set cost was, and then off you go to make it again for the following month. But there is a penalty if you do not get that block in time, and it's usually a couple of dollars more for that month. And this is to encourage you to get that block done. And then the following month again would go back to $5. Or you can pay a fee up front for the entire year. Every block of the month is a little different, so that is a question you need to ask. Do you pay it monthly or do you pay it by the entire project? So some organizations, especially online, will have a mailing block of the month. And what they will do is mail you the block of the month. Now, where I have signed up at Quilting Confections, they do have the program where you can do it through the mail. So anywhere in the world, you can join the Shades of Grey group. And what it is going to do is they will send you the pattern and the fabric every month in your mail, which is kind of nice. The other thing is there's no penalty fee that way. And you can make it at your own leisure. However, it is recommended that you make it every month because after all, that's what the program is all about. Now, a lot of them online will only give you the pattern, and the patterns a lot of times are free. But you do need to sign up to the websites or their blogs in order to take advantage of the free patterns. However you do a block of the month, they are all very unique and they are fun to do. There's no pressure involved. The patterns are usually very easy and very simple to follow, and you do have the support of your local store or your guilds to help you along. It is a great opportunity to learn new patterns and use different fabric that you never thought you'd use before. And well, let's face it, one little piece of the puzzle every month doesn't take that much time, and at the end of the year or whatever your program is, you'll have a finished project. So feel free to go into the description and click on the link so that you can print out this checklist. I'll also put a link in the descriptions to Quilting Confection and their block of the month program, which happens to be Shades of Grey, and you can also join along in the mail. Now, a lot of people have asked me, what do you mean by it's in the description? So let me explain that very briefly. Under the video, you will see a little area, and it has some words, and it describes what the video is all about. There's a little word there that says more or descriptions. If you click on that, that's going to open up a bigger spot, and in there, you're going to see a whole bunch more writing. There, you're going to be able to click on the description, and it's going to get you right to where you need to go. I'm so glad you could join me today on So Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.